You liked Apex at release, but then people got too good at it and started getting bodied, so you quit. Yeah, people don't like skill-based matchmaking in reality. You know, that's the big thing that happened with Halo Infinite. The game was really good, really well made, felt wonderful, gunplay felt great, everything was good. But then it did pure skill-based matchmaking. There was no experience-based, and it was like pretty tight in how it batched people. So you were going against people that were similar to you. And people be like, I feel like I don't climb rank. Yeah, because you got placed exactly where you're supposed to be pretty quickly. And that was kind of a good experiment and exercise in showing that people don't like to know exactly where they are. Yeah, fighting games are exactly that, because you can't really do it with fighting games, right? You go up against somebody and there's nothing to blame but yourself. And Halo Infinite was like that. You know, you don't drop in and be like, oh, maybe my drop was just bad, which you could do in BRs a lot, right? Oh, there just weren't good weapons where I dropped. Right? There's like so much you can blame in Apex, for example. But then in Halo, you can't. You're just spawning in on the map, same as everyone else, and you just have to be better. And that just like is really upsetting. Right? That's so upsetting. And anytime a game does that and doesn't give you some things you can blame, I notice that the competitive scene it kind of shrinks down. They don't die off because the people who are like diehards for those games love it. But yeah, Smurfs were really bad in that game because of that. For sure. The idea that skill ranks are something to climb to the top of ever is dumb. People gotta stop thinking like that. Well, and games have been designed to let you climb for a while like that. Kinda. They're also influenced by streamers, because a lot of streamers for those types of games started out as, you know, the really good players. Those were the first streamers that did well. People who are good at competitive games, typically. So everyone sees them in the mindset of, I'm gonna be Diamond Plus, so I'm gonna start the season and climb. And then all the people at home who are like, you know, have normal jobs and don't play 18 hours a day are like, I'm gonna do what they do and I'm gonna climb. And you know what I mean? And I think it's fine to aspire to, but I think if you just watch streamers a lot, you almost end up expecting it because you're so used to hearing it, right? It becomes normal in your head. So I think they don't mean to, no one means to, but it kind of tricks people into thinking like that's normal, you're supposed to do that. When really you could just like sit bottom of silver the whole time, play a little bit, have a good time, and you're allowed to be happy, you know? You're allowed to be happy with that. You don't have to strive for better, you just play a game and maybe try to win, kind of. But yeah, I think streamers existing, you know, obviously the batch of people that are playing competitive games on stream and are highly watched it's mostly going to be the good players, right? So it kind of skews your ideals, not ideals, your view of what's out there and how it's supposed to be, you know? It's very influential. That's why they're called influencers, right? That
but you don't understand, GEEGA. If I didn't have a full-time job and had been born with better reflexes, I wouldn't be ranked in all of my games.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be the first to say it. I have boomer eyes. I have boomer reflexes. Okay? Sometimes I play games and my brain stops wanting to try. Sometimes I'll open a game and I'll be like, yeah, I'm in this shit. I'm in a flow state. And then other times I'm like, I've been playing for 2 hours. I'm just going to run on fumes now. You know, I'm just going to sit back and play the video game for my own enjoyment, but I don't enjoy trying right now, you know? You just got to let it happen, man. If you want to have a good time, you just got to let it happen. I don't give a fuck about my rank. I don't care. And you know what? I find I have a lot of friends that also don't. They also don't. And they'll get kind of caught up. They'll be like, oh, season just started. I should climb. And I'll be like, have you been watching those streamers again? And they go, you're right. I don't give a fuck. I just want to play. Right? And we all just chill. That's it. So you don't have the memory reflex combo for fighting games anymore? Yeah, me neither, man. I could never. If I played like nothing but a fighting game, I'm sure I could pick it up, but I don't want to do that over just playing a variety of stuff, you know? I think this is why games like Pokopia are doing so well. Not only do they already have mass appeal, but more and more gamers are getting older and they want something to just play to relax in between all the work they're doing, all of the stressful just home life stuff they're taking care of. So would you rather open a fighting game in lab for 20 minutes or open Pokopia and go talk to Lapras for 20 minutes? You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? So, stuff that you can play casually. It doesn't mean you have to play games where you don't try. There's no skill involved, but I think this is why turn-based stuff is doing well too. Eugenics, Slay the Spire 2, etc. Balatro did really well. Because you can play it in fits and spurts in between everything else you're doing. Right? Especially people with kids. Maybe you can sit down for 10 minutes and start playing a game and then your kid's like, Mom, I need this thing. And you're like, fuck, and you gotta stop, you know? That's what these games are perfect for. Being able to just put it down for a second, then come back to it and pick right back up and be fine and not have to code switch your brain or anything. You just remember what you were doing, you know? So stuff like that, you know, it's just good. It's just good for real life, I think. I don't know, that was my main complaint with League. I always really liked League, but then games went from being 25-ish minutes to starting to be like 45 to over an hour at times. We'd be back and forth, nobody winning, and I'd be like, holy shit, please just end it, you know, because I'd be like, I have to make dinner or whatever. I have a work call, I gotta leave my game, you know, stuff like that. So that's why I'm you know, playing a lot of stuff I'm playing nowadays, a lot of single player stuff or auto battlers. Oh my god. Dude, Super Auto Pets was my most played game of 2022 because I could play it in between everything else. And at that time, I still wasn't a full-time streamer. I was streaming a lot, but I was still working. So when I wasn't streaming, I was working and I didn't get to like game that much, but I could leave Super Auto Pets open. And if I did some work thing and something had to sit there for 2 minutes and I had 2 minutes of time with nothing to do, boom, look over, open Super Auto Pets, send my round out, see how they do, close it, go back to work, you know? And it was so great. It was so great because I could do that. Same with Slay the Spire with the first game. Same thing, you know? So, big fan of games that fit into normal life. You know what I mean? That's why I really like Phocopia right now. I really like Slay the Spire right now, Eugenics right now. All of those have been good. Really, really good. Because when there are a lot of games, I'm like, oh, my steak is too buttery. You know? I'm like, oh no, there's all these options. As I'm like eating them like a cheese board.